What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we've got a video on the Javelin. If you guys haven't watched, we made a video talking about the car a really long time ago. I think it's over 2 years old, so it's been laying dormant this entire time. It hasn't been getting worked on at all. But this is gonna be the first video, hopefully in a series of a couple videos where we just kind of work on it and try to get it back at least working on the road. So, if you guys don't know, this is a 1970 Javelin SST. It has a 390 in it. It has a 4-speed in it. That's an aftermarket transmission. It was automatic to start. It's up on jack stands. That's why it's so high off the ground. Right now, I'll take a look under the hood real quick. I'll show you guys what we're working with as far as powertrain. This is what it looks like. This is a Holly 650 four barrel on it. And it's kind of dirty under here. I mean, it's been sitting. It hasn't been registered since 2009. But it has been driven, or it has started in between that time. I think that was 2013 or something, last time we started it. But basically, the first video in the series, we're going to be working on the brake system. So, if you come around over here, we already took the wheels off. You can see it's got the front discs. So, this is, not all of them came like this. And also, this is the 4-piston caliber. It's a Bendix 4-piston caliber. Pretty cool that car from 1970 had 4-piston calipers. In the back it's drums. We'll show you that in a second, but you can see it's pretty rusty and it looks pretty gnarly, so we may end up replacing parts in the future. But right now in this video, we're just going to start by actually bleeding the brake system and getting fluid in it and see if they operate at all, because currently when you press the pedal, nothing happens. So it's like you can't even roll the car around without having to like have multiple people stop it or put it in gear to stop the car. So basically the goal for this starting point with the brakes is to get them to be able to stop the car from rolling, at least, just so we can get it off the jack stands, and then we'll be working on hopefully getting it started after that. So I don't think we're going to be replacing parts unless we have to at this point. And I know it looks really bad, but we'll probably replace parts in the future once the car's on the road. You can see we got the drums in the back. Other side, we haven't taken the wheels off yet, so let's move up there. And the car's been sitting for a really long time. I looked under. I'm gonna show you guys under the car when we're working on it and everything. It looks like this side the brake line isn't leaking, so we're gonna go around and check all the other brake lines, the soft lines. But you can see in the reservoir. Am I doing so? Yeah, I had this off earlier. There's not really anything in there. There's a little bit of fluid you can see in that secondary reservoir. Made in the USA. And these brakes are basically Mopar. At least these discs are basically Mopar. These are the same brake pads, and I think the same calipers, I'm assuming, because it's the same brake pads that were on, I think it said Chargers with the disc brakes in the front. So yeah, we're gonna get working on basically breeding the brakes and going through the system. Hopefully the brake booster works and the master cylinder isn't leaking. It could be. It's been sitting a really long time. So basically we're gonna go through and diagnose what the issues are with the brake system, and then we'll take steps forward from there. And yeah, so this is not gonna be like a restoration series, by the way. Like, we're not gonna be transforming the car. The goal is to get it kind of driving and being a car that you can have some fun with or whatever, and just drive around lightly, and then maybe we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, we're gonna start working on this beast. So yeah. Hey guys, so we're gonna start the brake bleeding process. We showed you guys, but I got the flashlight now. You can see that rear reservoir is dry as a bone. Front one looks nasty. So first things we're gonna use a little. You're gonna want a bleeder bottle. I know they sell these where it's like just a cap, and then it has like an automatic, like a hose already built in. But you can make one really quick. I made this out of a little fuel line, 1/4-inch like inner diameter. That's like using like a quad. You just like cut a hole in a Gatorade bottle lid or whatever. This is club soda, whatever your drink of choice. No, this was like flat, and I had to like pour it out. And then you're gonna need brake fluid. We got plenty of it. Make sure it's sealed like that, or else you're gonna get moisture in it if you use an old bottle that's been opened. It's probably gonna pull water into it, and it's not gonna be as good. So we're gonna move to the drum. You want to do the drum in the back, right, Cameron? Okay. So we're gonna start in that driver's side drum. Yeah, we'll just move back there. Oh, we're gonna do the passenger side drum because it's the farthest point from the booster and where the thing is. So we're gonna fill it up right now. Yeah. So we're just gonna fill it up right now. And we'll just punch a hole in it. And this stuff is kind of gritty, so you don't
very corrosive.
Don't want it on your hand.
And do not get it on the paint.
Oh. We're just gonna fill her up because we're gonna be bleeding quite a bit through the system. So should I fill the front up too?
Yeah, I just filled both because I think one is supposed to be for the front, one's for the back, or something like. Or it's like, I can't remember exactly how it said it, but yeah.
So yeah, that's the first step, and then we're gonna go back there and start cracking the bleeders. And then you basically put this on the end of the bleeder, and then all that nasty fluid, if there's nasty fluid in there, will come out and you'll see it filling up the bottle. So yeah, we're gonna move back the car. Okay guys, we are at the back of the drum here. You can see, hopefully you can see how it's connected. We just cracked the bleeder. All the bleeders are 3/8 by the way, so you can see the bottle connected right there. And I'm gonna get into the car and pump the brakes in there. Yeah, and then Cameron, you're gonna be at the back, right?
Yeah, I'll be at the back, like kind of there to close and pump and then open and close.
So yeah, and then I'll check the reservoir, or he'll probably check the reservoir because it's kind of hard to get in and out of the car right now because the driver door does not open when it's lifted up like this. Something with the body, I don't know. Oh, it's starting to rain, so I'm gonna get in and pump the pedal. Okay, y'all. Update on working on the brakes. So, bleeder bottle. There's some fluid in there. That's all from the front brakes. So we started at the rear passenger, farthest point. That's what you're supposed to do, and then you do the whatever diagonal or whatever the fuck. And basically, nothing was coming out of the rear brakes. We would do the pump, try to build pressure, or just even open it and just pump, and nothing was coming out. So we've got no fluid out of the back. However, the fronts, the discs, this is what this produced. This side, when we did it originally, it was actually all clear coming out, so there was like nothing in there at all. That one, there was some crappy fluid in there. That's what turned it brown and gross. So we figured out, we believe the back, this back reservoir, we've been filling it up and whatnot and everything. We believe the back reservoir is for the fronts because whenever we drain those, that's what comes down. And then the front reservoir has not really changed level at all. So we've got to figure out what's up with the back brakes. Right now, obviously, though, the front brakes feel great. Like, they build pressure and the pedal gets really stiff. So I think at this point, if we did take it off the jack stands, we could probably obviously stop the car from like rolling away or whatever. But yeah, we're going to diagnose the back and see if we can learn a little bit more right now. Okay, so we're back at the back of the car here. We're still having an issue. Haven't solved the back brake problem yet. So I would show you under the car, but we don't have a lift, and the car is kind of hard to film under. We don't have a lot of space in here to get comfortable under there. So there's a junction block where basically, actually, let's just go. I'll just show you the brake system, how it works. Get the flashlight. Just so if you guys are trying to figure it out for yourself or something, you can see you have two, and that's for the front and the back. So this guy runs to a junction block, and there's a little T that has the entrance. This is the inlet. Those are the two outlets, and the outlet, the bottom one, comes over to this side, the front driver's side, and then the left goes over here, and it goes to another junction block. You can see, it's really hard to see. Yeah, you guys see it down there with those thin lines going in there, and that leads to the front, the left one, and then the other line, because we established that the rear reservoir is for the fronts, and this little back smaller one is for the backs. Runs all the way down the length of the car and splits into two. but there's a junction block in between where the the line is the hard line just goes in, and it's, I don't know why there's a junction block, but then it just comes out the other side. So we're gonna disconnect there to see if we could get fluid to come out basically 60% of the way down the car, and then we would know if there's a blockage in the front if it's still not coming out, and then if it does come out, then we know that there's likely a blockage at the rear where it actually goes to a soft line and then goes to a junction block and splits to the left and right wheels. So basically we're going to just disconnect one of the lines and see if fluid comes out on the front half of the junction block, because then we'll know that this is actually flowing. And if not, then we'll be like, okay, there's something wrong in the front of the system, likely. And then if it does come out, then we know there's something wrong in the back of the system, because we think that the lines are clogged is basically what we think. Okay guys, we've been making some progress on kind of diagnosing where the blockage in the lines are. So this is a junction block on the back that you guys can see that's the inlet, and those are the two sides, and that's the one that splits the left and the right side of the car. We opened it up the trunk. That's what it looks like in the trunk, guys. We got the battery back there. We'll charge that up later at some point. But I'm going to get into the car real quick and show you guys what we've done. Okay guys, hopefully you guys can see in here all right. So this is the junction block we were talking about loosening earlier. All that fluid around it is from PB Blaster. It's kind of wet. So this left side one, I can't point to it, I'm holding something. The left fitting there, we loosened and brake fluid came out. And then we did the back one and brake fluid came out. So we know that this junction block, whatever this is, I think Cameron mentioned it might be a metering valve or something, which makes sense because there's no reason for it other than to do something. Sorry for the light, is going to be really bright in the camera. But then you can see the soft line. If you look directly in the middle of the screen is the soft line connection. So we opened up the left side that comes off that hard line, that little 3/8 connection, and brake fluid came out. And then we just, now you can see where the soft line kind of leads back there. This is extremely difficult to film, sorry guys. And we couldn't get the soft line off because this one would just spin and it was really annoying. So I'm gonna get back out from under the car actually. Okay, now I'm out from under the car, and this is what I kind of showed on camera. This is where the hard lines, this is the one that comes to this drum directly. It's a pretty short connection. That one goes to the left side, the driver's side of the car. You can see this is where the junction block was mounted right here. There's actually a hole. I don't know, you probably won't be able to see it. You can see, you see that hole? That's where the junction block bolts to the axle housing. The axle. You can see though, you probably, well, maybe you can't see. The soft line does not look clear. So we have reason to believe it's definitely the soft line because we just did the junction blocks. But yeah, this is where the soft line comes in and it bolts to the back of the junction block. No, Cameron, you want to? So this is the junction block. He just cleaned out with some compressed air. Yep, you can see straight to it. So we know that it's not the junction block. He used some carb cleaner, and step out here. We'll take a look at this. You can see straight through it. Can't see that way because it's metal on the other side. But yeah, this is that bolt hole, and this is how it mounts like this. It's a pretty simple system. You want to hold the camera real quick? So, now that we basically know how far the brake fluid has made it, so we basically know it came from that other junction block I showed on the car, went through the hard line, and now it's being stopped because we originally took one of these fittings out, and then to see if it came out this junction block or whatever. And then when we realized this one's clean, we realized the soft line is the issue. So Cameron said that it looked like the soft line probably degraded over time and kind of melted in, which is likely, having just brake fluid sitting in there. It's also very old. I'm pretty sure it's probably original, so it's over 50 years old, and probably just collapsed on the inside lining, so it's just not allowing anything through. So we're going to order up that soft line for the rear, and then basically we should at that point be able to hook up, and hopefully we're talking about then the cylinders in the back will work because like we mentioned earlier, the fronts are working really good as far as building pressure and being able to bleed the brakes correctly, and the pedal gets really nice and firm. So yeah, we will, in the next part of the video, I guess we will be back with replacing the soft line. Okay, guys, we are back now with the part. I mentioned we're gonna go get the brake line, the soft line. So this is what we went and picked up. We got it at a Advanced Auto Parts, or Car Quest is like the same thing if you have a Car Quest. And this is the part number. It's a BHA 86594. This said it was correctly listed, and we went and we took the junction block that you guys saw before, that Cameron cleaned out and everything, and we verified was not clogged. And we verified that this is the end that the old soft line went on, that the threads were good and it threaded all the way on. So we already checked that. But funny enough, this was actually on the website. It was like $32, and I was like, okay, whatever. That's how much it's gonna cost, because all the other ones costed that. But he only charged us $9. I don't know why, but yeah, apparently these are pretty cheap. Maybe, I don't know. It might be $30. It might be $9. I have no idea. Maybe it was just like sitting forever and they like marked down things that are not being sold. I have no idea. It was very weird. So yeah, it was like $16 for this and the brake fluid, because he was like $9, and I was like, oh, okay, the brake fluid, and then he was like, your total 16. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, it's pretty affordable to replace. So we're gonna get under the car and remove that other soft line, but because we have brake fluid in the front reservoir, that small one that's for the back, it is going to just like spill fluid everywhere. So you're going to have like a catcher or something just to allow everything to drain out when you take that soft line off, because it's going to just spill everywhere, unless you don't have fluid in yours. Okay, so Cameron just got the soft line off. I loosened it from under there, and then he pulled this little spring plate out with a, what'd you use? You used those pliers?
Twin grips.
And then I can't really show it very good. Let's see if I can show it. You guys can see the end of the line right there, maybe. And then you can see it dripping into this little jug that we made. So it's gonna drain out the brake fluid, but we can, I guess, put the soft line on.
Yeah, you want to hand me the soft line?
Okay, so I'm gonna hang Cameron the soft line. And sorry guys, we can't really film very good under the car because we don't have a lift or anything like that. So it's really difficult to show. But I'm gonna try and at least get some sort of action. You can see the end of it and that bracket. Hopefully where this thing fits.
Is it round on this one? Instead of a hex?
Yes.
Okay.
Can't fit?
No.
Shit.
It's like pretty close, but not quite.
Okay guys, we're at the back of the garage now, and we're filing the little kind of crown. So basically, this is the old block line. If it will focus. Whatever, I can't focus, I don't know why. But basically, there's a circle. And as you can see, that's a circle. Right there beyond the washer. This kind of flange. And ours is a hex. So that's why it won't go through the bracket. So it will mount up to the hard line just fine, and we could technically complete the system, but it won't be in the hanger, which would be kind of annoying. So we're just trying to basically file down the like a couple of the hex points to make it narrower so it would fit on the hanger. So we'll come back when we basically make it fit, if we can. In the wheel well right now. So this is the new soft line is installed there. See the shiny new fitting. There's the junction block, and Cameron just hooked up the left and the right. You can see the hard line leading there. This is the hard line for the passenger side wheel. So now we get to try to bleed them again and see if fluid comes out of the bleeder screws on the back right there. So yeah. Okay guys, I'm inside the car now, and I'm gonna pump the brakes. This is my view because I have to use my left leg because that door doesn't open right now. But Cameron is in the back and he's telling me to pump the brakes, so I'm gonna pump, 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 pump. Is it open?
Yeah.
Anything?
Yep, fluid.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Cameron just said that there's some fluid coming out of the back. So you want to close it, Cameron?
Yeah, that's pretty nasty stuff. I'm gonna do the other side, and then we'll have to do like the pump, hold.
Okay. So if you didn't hear Cameron, we're gonna do the other side now because he's on the passenger rear. He's back there, and he's gonna go over the driver rear right now. You can see him over there. I'm gonna pump. You guys can see this is the Hurst 4-speed shifter. So we'll bleed that one next. Okay, guys. So now Cameron just topped up the reservoir up in there, and now he's at the back passenger wheel, and I'm gonna do a pump hold basically. So I'm gonna pump it, and I can feel the pedal is building pressure. He's got the bleeder valve closed. Okay, and now I'm gonna hold it, and when he opens it, you can see my foot moved because the pressure released. So now I'm gonna release because you probably bled through, right, Cameron?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna do another pump hold. So pump it a couple times, and the pressure. Okay, I'm holding, and you can see my leg moves again. So basically do that for all the wheels, and that's how you kind of breathe the brakes and build pressure by opening and closing the bleeder. And so you're basically building pressure up in the master cylinder, and then it opens the bleeder and it pumps all that fluid through. So yeah. Okay, so now we believe that the brake bleeding process is kind of actually finished. You guys can see this is the fluid that came out. So it's pretty gnarly. Not the worst I've seen. When we did our old Ford truck, it was literally like non-see-through. Like you hold it up to light and it's just still black. That was kind of crazy. The cat is having a hairball. There's a cat over there. Anyways, so it's kind of dark over here, but we just did this one the last. This is the... Huh? Oh, you want me to spin it? You can see it spins. Is that supposed to... You wanted it to spin, right? Anyways, we're going to go to the front now. And you guys saw earlier in the video before we got to the back and we did that whole soft line replacement. We already got the fronts done. So now the next stage of the process is probably in the next video. We're going to be getting to work on getting this thing started. And I don't know if we already mentioned it, but there's that kinked fuel line going to the carburetor. So I got to identify exactly what this carb is. I know it's a Holley 650, but there's a couple. There's like a double pumper and whatever else. It's a 4-barrel, but I don't know exactly what it is right now. So we'll take a look at it, and then I can order up the correct basically dual hardline setup that goes like this and that piece, because I did find a bunch online right away. So we'll just order a new one because I don't have the tools to like bend and make a new hardline, and yeah. So the back one is fine, the long one. So that's gonna be the first thing we do basically, and then charge up the battery, and lights are tweaking. So right now, we're just gonna take the car off the jack stands, and that once it's on the ground, that'll probably be. We'll show you guys. Maybe we'll roll it, maybe, and then try to stop it with the brakes, just to verify that the brakes actually work. And then that'll probably be the end of this video. So yeah, we're gonna get on that, and then stay tuned for the next video because we're gonna be probably starting it up. Okay, guys. So we lowered the car down. You can see it's a little bit lower in the frame. The wheels are back on. Looks pretty good. The door opens now that we lowered it down, the driver door. Basically the body was like twisting a little bit when it was up in the air, even though we had the jack stands at the same level. I don't know why it was doing that, but something where it just wasn't opening, but opens closed just fine. So yeah, next video we will be working on the engine, probably be doing stuff on the carb. We'll probably be doing stuff with the gas tank, putting better fuel in it, getting the old fuel out if there's any bad fuel in there, and then probably putting some coolant in the radiator because it's kind of bone dry. And then we might even probably be doing like an oil change in that video, if we can get it to at all spark up or anything. And probably be pulling the spark plugs, checking the plugs and everything. So basically just going through a tune-up mostly to see if it runs. So Stay tuned for that video. Should be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see how it turns out.